Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, students of Year 8. This is the overview of Lesson 1 for Week 3. Let's begin the lesson with a knowledge recall based on what we learned last week. So, Speedos, list 3 adjectives that describe the Prophet's treatment of his wives. Runners, mention 3 highlights of the Prophet's character in his treatment of his grandchildren. And flyers, give 3 examples of the Prophet's love and care of his children. Write your answers on the answer prompt that you see on your screens. Now let's move forward with new learning. But before we could start that, kindly listen to this video and try guessing the name of the surah.
إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون.
Well, so were you able to make a guess? Not so easy, I should say, except if you have memorized this surah or you are in the habit of reciting it regularly. So let's see whether your guess is right. Well, it is Surah Yasin. And our topic for today is the path to paradise, which is based on the interpretation of the meanings of Surah Yasin verses 55 to 68. So our learning objective for today is to recite verses 55 to 68 of Surah Yasin in accordance with the rules of recitation. In order to achieve this learning objective, students should be able to recite verses 55 to 61 of Surah Yasin with proper pronunciation if they belong to the bronze or speedos level. Recite verses 55 to 64 of Surah Yasin with proper pronunciation and applied tajweed if you belong to the runners or the silver group. Recite verses 55 to 68 of Surah Yasin with proper pronunciation and applied tajweed if you belong to the higher, that is, the flyers or the gold group. How are we going to get there? You will head over to assignments, select Y8U5L1 Activity 1. Follow the instructions. That will take you to Flip Grid to record your recitation. Do not forget, however, to refer to the Quran recitation rubric so that you know exactly what is required of you in your recitation. If you have followed all these instructions correctly, then inshallah you have achieved your learning objective, which is to recite verses 55 to 68 of Surah Yasin in accordance with the rules of recitation. We will come back towards the end of the lesson in the last 15 minutes to have a quick check of what you have recited. We will listen to your individual recitations and give feedback on it. So as homework, you will work on the feedback received and improve your recitation. The next and the final step is to give your feedback about today's lesson. Did you find it too hard, just right, or too easy? You can do that by dragging the dot to your appropriate choice. And with that, we come to the end of today's lesson. Jazakumullahu khairan wa barakallahu feekum.